Okay, so picture this, a glittering New York gala, chandeliers, flashbulbs, and mics turned way down, but not down enough because viewers allegedly caught a tense little exchange near Meghan and Harry, and the room reportedly went still for a beat. Was it an on-air argument? Or just clipped whispers misheard through the buzz? Cameras stayed wide, bodyguards shifted, lips moved, a glance that felt sharp, or maybe just focused. One guest supposedly mouthed, "all good." Another claimed awkward. The audio? Mushy. The vibe? Electric. We're breaking down what the angles show, what experts think, and what the couple's team didn't say yet. Quick, subscribe if you want the receipts as they drop. Okay, picture this. They roll up to this Manhattan ballroom that's packed to the chandeliers, here to accept a major honor, and the air is buzzing like a phone on silent. The program is tight. Producers and headsets are doing little power walks, tapping wrists, trimming transitions, pushing every segment to stay on schedule. And meanwhile, the live stream refuses to cut away. It lingers, it stares, it loves a reaction shot, so every glance feels magnified. Every micro smile becomes a think piece. And yet, that wasn't the whole story, because behind those velvet drapes, you've got a seating chart reportedly reprinted twice, a cue card swap at the 11th hour, and a lighting tweak that made row 3 blink, plus a stage manager counting down like New Year's while publicists smooth lapels and remind, keep it tight. And security shifts positions as arrivals stack up. They take a breath, touch the award walkthrough's thought, and wait for the cue. The room is polite, electric, a little sharp around the edges. Sponsors are at table fronts, donors at the aisles, and chat on the stream is sprinting. A teleprompter reportedly hiccups for a beat. A name almost flashes too soon, and you can see that tiny inhale people do when they decide to improvise. The honor mattered, not just for them, but for the narrative of the night, the clip that would live on, the screenshot that would travel. So yes, the schedule was tight, the producers were pressing, and the live stream magnified every eyelash, but the real pulse was that little backstage shuffle, the whispered, "You're up next," the delicate calculus of when to smile and when to hold, because timing wasn't just minutes on a run of show, it was the difference between a nice moment and the moment. At 01:14:07, blink and you miss it. Meghan leans in, voice low, almost off mic. Harry mutters back, jaw clenched, that temple muscle tight. She gives the smallest nod, then the bracelet. A quick adjust, like she's grounding herself, or maybe just fixing a clasp. He doesn't turn. He stares forward, eyes set on the middle distance. Viewers caught it. They paused, they rewound, they bookmarked, and then the internet noticed. Comment sections lit up. Lip-reading theories started flying. All alleged, all vary if you look closely. Some swear he says not now. Others claim it's we agreed. It could be neither. It could be a breath, a filler, a barely there whisper that mics never catch. Body language people weighed in, reportedly seeing stress in the jaw and a reassurance tap in the bracelet move. But read with caution. Context matters. They were on a stage, lights, cameras, a schedule. Couples do these micro chats constantly. It might be logistics. It might be comfort. It might be nothing at all. Still, that stare ahead, it gives a vibe. Focused, braced. In interview land, that's a classic stay-on-track look. And Meghan's nod reads like message received. The bracelet touch? It's one of her known habits, according to longtime watchers. But even that is subjective. The clip ricocheted to X and TikTok, then back to group chats. People picked teams. Some saw tension, some saw teamwork. The only clear fact is the moment exists on tape. The rest is interpretation. Keep that in mind, because sometimes a tiny gesture is just a tiny gesture, and sometimes it's a whole chapter, depending on the lens you bring to it. Okay, pattern watchers, you're not imagining it because fans keep pointing to the same tiny tells replaying across different stages, and the Ripple Awards moment reportedly had that blink and you miss it exchange where the smile tightens. There's a brief lean in, a clipped nod, and then a swift pivot to cameras, while the Invictus intros allegedly echoed it with a quick hand-to-elbow touch, a half-step alignment, and a micro inhale before the first line lands. And it's those little beats, the jaw set, the blink rate uptick, the lips press then release, that viewers read as stress leaking through, like a 2-second reset before the public face slides on. Some are splicing clips side by side and claiming the cadence is nearly identical. A soft "are you good" look, a fractional head tilt, overlapping words cut short mid-syllable. Then boom, the practiced patter. And if that's true, it could be nothing scandalous. Just live event choreography and media training doing its job, because stage managers reportedly cue entrants, rehearsals bake in call-and-response pivots, and couples invent quick micro-checks so they don't talk over each other. But the reason it's buzzing is the repetition, because when those markers recur, squeeze, nod, pivot, people start whispering pattern, and they frame it as tension, while skeptics counter it simply focus under hot lights. Context matters too. Since award nights and global intros carry heavy stakes, and nerves compress speech, bump blink rates, and tighten shoulders, so the body reads pressure even when everything's fine. Yet the tea here is the choreography appears consistent across venues, allegedly with the same tight-lipped grin softening a beat late, the same one-shoulder angle toward the mic, and the same fast swallow before the opener, which could signal stress management rather than relationship drama. But either way, it's the micro beats for me, tiny, fast, repeatable, and reportedly present at both the Ripple and Invictus moments. So file it under pattern noted, not verdict delivered. Here's where the narrative flips, besties. Insiders insist it was teleprompter timing and seating cues, not friction, with stage managers reportedly signaling like their lives depended on it. And once you hear the mechanics, the drama kind of dissolves. We're talking a slipping countdown, a laggy prompter, and a floor manager allegedly throwing those frantic hand signs that say hold, stretch, look left, now right, now smile. That infamous side-eye everyone replayed could have been a camera block for sponsor signage, because sources say camera 3's tally went red and they needed a clean two-shot. The awkward shuffle? Reportedly a last-minute VIP seat bump, which meant a quick reseat to keep the aisle clear for a timed hit. Whispers at the lip of the stage were, per people on headsets, IFB crackle and a standby to roll bumper cue, not a whisper fight. That lean-away moment some read as icy might just be a lens line, since producers allegedly asked them to pivot to avoid glare off a sequin and keep the eyeline matched. The hand touch that felt tense could have been a squeeze to stall, a common on-stage signal when a graphic isn't loaded. I'm told a hold card went up, the stage manager windmilled, then gave a big circle for rap, which aligns with that tiny beat of silence before the joke landed. Even the clipped smiles track with hurry-up energy when the segment clock is brutal. And remember, the band was vamping, so they may have been buying seconds while a lower third reset. If that's true, the micro-expressions that launched 1,000 think pieces were just traffic control, not tea. Allegedly, producers later shrugged, saying, nothing burger, just cues, and while it's not as juicy as a feud, it does explain why their post-show banter looked normal, because it probably was. So unless someone on the record says otherwise, this feels like timing, choreography, and a very loud backstage whisper. Here's where it flips. An alternate feed pops up, not the glossy broadcast, a floor cam, raw, audio muddy. A user claims they grabbed it from the venue app, allegedly a test screen. People start chopping it, zooms, freeze frames, then the mouths. Lip-reading TikTok arrives like it's sworn in. Reminder, guesswork. A-list pair by the step and repeat. Reaction shot, hand over mouth, a lean in. The lip reader captions, "Are you serious?" allegedly. A comment swears it's not with them here. Reportedly, others hear something else. Thread wars, side-by-sides, hashtag hatches, gala moment. The algorithm eats it. It looks huge. Then the memes. Someone builds a filter with cartoon bubbles stamped allegedly. It snowballs, duets, stitches. Comparisons to last year's mic'd interview. A body language narrator weighs in, reportedly seeing defensiveness. Another creator counters, maybe it's the air conditioning. That uncertainty keeps clicks coming. People timestamp a blink. A wrist flick, a tiny flinch, meaning assigned. It might be a reach, but the vibe is magnetic. By midnight, TikTok is saturated. Clips spill to Twitter with slow-mo and sparkle. Journalists, cautious, note an alternate feed appears to exist. PR accounts post gowns and smiles. No comment on the whisper. Fans share alleged texts from seat fillers, unverified. A rumor says the stream got pulled. Another says it was always there. No one agrees. Everyone posts. That's the spark. Twitter grabs a storyline. It calcifies. Brands tweet coy eyes. A comedian riffs. A late-night booker asks for the clip. The moment graduates from niche tea to mainstream chatter, built on maybes, fed by momentum, impossible to ignore. So what's the fallout, and why would they lean in for that tiny whisper? Their camp offered no comment, which is very on brand when the goal is to let a micro-moment fade. Friendly sources are chalking it up to routine event stress, nothing cinematic. New York security reportedly tightened at the venue that day, which compressed their movement window. Think extra checkpoints, staggered access, and a motorcade that ran a few minutes behind. That kind of squeeze can ripple into timing cues and patience. Add in a teleprompter hiccup that allegedly paused or repeated a line, and you've got the perfect recipe for a quick shoulder dip and a quiet word. Not a scheme, just a fix-it whisper to sync the next beat. One staffer reportedly flagged a scroll lag, and backup cards were ready. Stage managers love a whisper because it doesn't spook the audience. So the motive, if any, sounds procedural. Align timing, confirm the next line, and keep the flow seamless. Fallout-wise, the internet did its thing. Clips were slowed down, captions were guessed, and a few tabloids teased drama. Insiders, though, are eye-rolling. Sponsors reportedly did their routine check-ins, and nothing changed. No scheduling overhauls, no crisis calls. Crowd energy stayed high, and the segment landed. The whisper reads like standard live show triage, not secret plotting, if anything. It signals professionalism under pressure. Could there be more? Always possible, but nothing concrete is surfacing. Absent a statement from the team, the most boring answer might be the real one. Stacked logistics, tight security, a finical prompter, and a tiny whisper to keep the gears turning. That's the temperature for now. And yes, the clip is messy, but we're combing through every frame. If clearer audio appears, we'll break it first. No hesitation. Because context changes everything, and you deserve the full picture, not whispers. Until then, keep your timelines calm and your receipts organized. We'll circle back as soon as something solid lands, not just chatter. Breathe, sip water, save your takes. Because next up, we're diving into the awkward pacing that turned an awards night into a storyline. The pauses, the cues, the cutaways, reportedly edited on the fly, and why it felt so off.